Cotterman, The Other Side of Adversity. The Other Side of Adversity, Megan Cotterman.
Have you ever wondered why bad things happen to good people? Or maybe you've heard the phrase, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, and rolled your eyes. Maybe I don't want to be a strong soldier. Maybe I don't want to go through traumatic events. But life doesn't always give us a choice. And through the hard times, we either crumble or we emerge stronger, more resilient, and with a perspective we never asked for, but ultimately needed. My parents welcomed their first son, Jason, in 1988, followed by another son, Ryan, in 1990. With 2 boys, they hoped for one more, a girl, and then I arrived in 1992, completing our family. Growing up, we had what many would consider an all-American, picturesque childhood. We went to church together on Sundays, we took family vacations together, and we all sat down for dinner together every night. Life was normal, until it wasn't. Jason, my oldest brother, was gifted, naturally excelled in school. But brilliance can be a double-edged sword. It can leave you trapped in your own mind. Sometimes the smartest people turn to drugs and alcohol as a way to escape, and that's exactly what Jason did. What started out as harmless experimentation with weed and alcohol escalated over the years to a heroin addiction. This brought chaos into our home. We lived on edge, having to hide our valuables and cash with the fear that Jason would steal it to feed his habit. We feared the worst, that Jason would end up hurting himself or others in the process. Then there was my other brother, Ryan. Ryan was effortlessly cool, well-liked by all, something I envied very much as a kid struggling to fit in. He too turned to drugs and alcohol, but for different reasons. It was social at first, fun, until it wasn't. A few bad choices led to an addiction to prescription pills. A cautionary tale for anyone who thinks they can control where their vices lead. Having 2 sons and 2 brothers battling addiction under one roof put unimaginable strain on my family. I was young, naive, and largely disassociated from it all, and I wouldn't really understand the impacts that this had on me until much later. Ryan went off to Penn State University, while Jason, my oldest brother, cycled in and out of rehabs, constantly teetering on the edge of sobriety and relapse. I eventually went off to college myself, and then one night, my freshman year, I received a text from my brother Ryan. It read, "I have cancer." I was shattered. For months, Ryan had been complaining about stomach pains, but none of us could have ever imagined this outcome. I couldn't control my tears. I would have to abruptly leave my college classes because I couldn't concentrate or focus on anything else. Ryan fought cancer for 18 months before ultimately losing his battle on June 16, 2012. He was 21 years old. I was only 20 at the time. When I was going through this, people would say to me, "Megan, you're so strong, how do you manage?" But when you're faced with these circumstances, what other choice do you really have? The years that followed were filled with even more battles. Jason tried incredibly hard to get a hold of his addictions, my parents doing everything they could to help him. But as anyone who has loved an addict knows, there's a fine line between support and enabling. And at the end of the day, the only person that can help the addict is the addict themselves. One day, my parents sat me down and they said to me, Megan, if we put some distance between ourselves and Jason and he ends up overdosing, would you resent us? I told them no. I had seen the lengths they had gone to try to help him over the years, and I had seen the toll that it had taken on their own lives. And at this point, they had done everything they could. Jason eventually moved out and started a career as an engineer because despite all of this, he was incredibly smart and talented. My parents put some distance between themselves and him, just trying to move on with their lives. And for a while, things seemed stable. Then one day, I got a call from my mom on the phone and she said, Megan, I haven't heard from Jason in a while, and I'm getting nervous. A few days after that phone call, the cops showed up to my parents' door. Jason had overdosed and died alone in his apartment. A neighbor had noticed the stench and alerted the authorities. And just like that, we went from being a family of 5 to a family of 3. When people ask me if I have siblings, I say yes, because I do. They are just no longer here. I would give anything to have my brothers back, but I can't change the past, and neither can any of you. But we can choose how we carry it forward. Here's what I've learned in the face of such adversity. Number 1, I appreciate life more than ever. Every single day is a gift. I travel as much as I can. I chase new experiences. I put myself out there in Toastmasters competitions. It's because I know how fragile life is, and I refuse to waste my time. Number 2, I never take anything for granted. My health, a random phone call from a loved one, the little moments, they could be gone in an instant. Number 3, I love more deeply. I give more hugs. I tell my friends and family I love them all the time. It's because you never know when it will be the last time. So the next time life knocks you down and you find yourself asking the question, why me? Remember this. On the other side of adversity is a version of you you haven't met yet. One that is stronger, more resilient, and capable of surviving more than you've ever thought possible. And that version of you, they're worth meeting. Thank you.